Hi and welcome along, and thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoy this wee session I have for you on the Danish Gambit. The Danish Gambit is not one to be messed around with taking it lightheartedly, because one can play it romantically and lightheartedly as white, but do not take it easily for black, because it's quite a good opening. Even when you lose a queen for a bishop, even when I blunder a queen, it's a chess blind spot. I don't know what's going on, but it's a chess blind spot. So that's the game I feature here for you today. And this is one of the greatest gambits you can play as white in gambit forms, that is. It ranks in the top 7 for gambits around the world, still to this day. It's an old gambit. I haven't looked at the history, but it's an old gambit. And so here we go. Let's have a look at this. And by the way, have a look at the photo that I've got here that I accidentally took when I was in Dunedin with my Samsung S20. My phone just happened to take a photo. I was actually taking a photo, but it sort of dropped it or something like that. But so look, that's quite good, isn't it? It looks like Picasso or Rembrandt or Da Vinci, something like that. So here we go. Let's have a look at this game. This game is the second game I've played with this opponent, and my opponent is a wee bit underrated from, a little bit sort of lower rated, and so just be aware of that. So to be fair, I have to say that my opponent is around the 1500 mark, has already had one game with me somewhere along the line and lost. So here's this game. And I am white, of course. F4, you can see I'm white with this move. G3. So we're just taking a light-hearted look at this opening, because I've had luck or chance on my side today. F5, oh no, F5. So castling, knight h6, queen c2. Now, I think here, for some reason, in chess, I think I am now attacking the bishop on c5 with my queen. So I threaten the queen on c5. The queen threatens the bishop on c5. Complete blindness, as well as knight g4. Now I cannot play bishop f5, as then d3 is check, and my queen will soon be lost. So my opponent's playing quite well, really. But what do I do? Okay, what do I do? I play queen c5. I don't know why. Is this blindness, or is it just old age, or what is it? Queen c5, of course. Bishop d2. I hold on to the boat, and I go, well, it's not very good, is it? It's not very good. Now, I think castling here would be good, because then white would not be able to win the bishop on c8. But that doesn't make any difference to my move anyway. H5 came about, and I played knight a3. Here I miss rook c1, and then I get compensation for my loss of queen for bishop. Knight a3, queen e7. So this is too late now, David. You've missed the ball again, and you've also blundered terribly. We could call it chess blindness, or we can just call it chess dumbness. But I don't know what it is. I don't even have a word for it. But knight a3 and queen e7. So this is pretty reasonable. h3. I'm going to grab anything that my opponent gives me. h4. So guess what? I took the knight. And here's g3 and g5. Cutting off the queen from going to h4, which it's not going to go to anyway, because I'll just go knight takes queen, and then I will live to speak another day, or whatever I'm trying to say. G5, Queen F7, King G2, and anticipating Queen H5, which happened, which I was reasonably happy with, considering I've already lost my queen. So now I played Rook H1, which of course threatens the Rook on H8 indirectly. Queen F3, not the very best move for black players to play, but this is what I meant by chance that came about in this game. Queen F3, King F3, now I think I go a little bit silly, really. I think I play a little bit silly. Checkmate. So I'm going to show you the first and second games that I played today in the Danish Gambit Super Blitz Arena, which is 3-minute and 0 increments. I'm going to show you those first two games, as this one didn't actually count. But it's not a bad checkmate, is it? I mean, checkmate's checkmate. That's why I hear Magnus say, checkmate, is there a checkmate? Is there a checkmate? Blah, blah, blah. All that. He doesn't actually say it that way, but he looks for checkmate just like Grandmaster Nigel Short does. At the end of the day, checkmate wins the game of chess. So here we go. Let's have a look at these first two games, and then I'm out of here. Thank you very much. So here we have round one, where my opponent is equal to my rating on Lead Chess for 3-minute chess at the moment, or for Super Blitz, or whatever it's called. Now, it was quite interesting that my friend and I in Dunedin were looking at this, just talking about it. We weren't actually playing it, but I was playing monster chess with him, where I had the 4 pawns versus the whole black army, and that was quite good. I think it was quite good exercises, and I got a wee bit sort of like annoyed when I would drop the ball. So that's something I'm still trying to learn at this late age, if I'll ever learn it, is how to lose at chess. Castling, knight d6, so my opponent's 20.95. Bishop d3. So this is only light-hearted look at this opening, because I'm seriously not playing it seriously. Knight e4. Now, c6, and I think, well, shall I play queen h5, check to the h7 checkmate square, or shall I move my knight? Because if I play queen h5, then after g6, I have knight f6 or knight e7 check. Yeah, and if queen takes knight, then queen takes bishop. But I wasn't very happy with that. So I played knight e3, f5. Oh no. Oh no, they play my move. I play a wee simple thing that I get lured into myself, is b4, which is offering black a pawn. Yeah? No, because if bishop takes b4 now, queen b3, and I have a wee cheapo by winning the bishop on b4. Next move, more or less. So bishop b6, and here came bishop b2. Now probably black could just take the knight on e3, play knight e4, d5, stuff like that. I don't know. I'm not looking at it from black's point of view, but I was a wee bit. Here's knight e4, and here I go into a sort of a lost position for the Danish Gambit. I played bishop c4, d5, and I went clunk because I'm just trying to have some fun. and also try not to lose, but it looks like I might lose. CD5 and bishop d5, maybe even knight d5, but not really. CD5 and bishop d5 check, and we have king h8, really probably only, now here comes the cheapos, okay, now queen h5, now what do I threaten? I threaten, among other things, knight g6 checkmate, and so my opponent plays the best move probably on the planet, plays queen g5. Oh no, I haven't got knight g6 now because of queen g6, and game over, man, game over. So, what do I do here? Bishop e4. And now my opponent plays queen f4. Now, I thought my opponent here would probably play queen takes h5 and fe4, but that's another game, another time, another moment. So, here's queen f4, and I played bishop d5. Now, I probably haven't got anything at all, but I have got the two bish. I have got the two babes, as they're called, in some chess clubs and things like that. The two babes. Bishop d5, knight c6. And now I think, what do I do now? Resign? Yeah, it probably came up in the notice of the motion. But I played here rook a e1, queen h6, blunder, because of queen h6. And now the queen cannot be captured because of bishop. Now, I don't want to analyse the variations for black, that black should have played this or that or whatever. Even queen g6. I mean, not queen g6. Not g6 either, because it's not possible. But, oh yeah, queen g4. That will be okay for black before I move 20. But black played move 20, queen h6, which is a bit unfortunate. But it's good for me. Bishop d4, so that if I don't watch it, I'm going to have my queen taken on h6. So I played bishop d4, knight d4, and queen f4, which is, of course, attacking the knight on d4. So simply put, knight c6, queen d6. Here we have rook d8. What do I play next move? Real quickly, rook d8. What's your next move for white to win in two moves? Rook d8, queen d8, knight d8, rook e8, checkmate. So now I will show you the second game, and I've already shown you the third game, which wasn't counted. So here it comes now. This time I have the black pieces. This time my opponent is 1812 or 1814. That's whereabouts my opponent is for this time limit. So it's black to move. Now, I could play the move we were discussing in Dunedin, which is just merely d3. Okay, now that's one move. I think it's okay. But here I chose to play, I believe, d5. Now, whether this is any good or not, I do not know. And by the way, this is the starting position, the from position as it's called, the one that you've seen 3 times now. The book's going out of, there's only, this is called the Sorensen defense. Danish Gambit declined Sorensen, I'm probably saying that completely wrong, defense. Knight c6, bishop e5. Now I'm going to have to not take the pawn on e5 with my bishop because of queen e5, and white runs away with one of my pieces. So I play bishop e7, solidifying my pawn formation on d5 and c6 with bishop c6 check before. This is no good, this move here. This move here is no good. Bishop a6 doesn't really work out very well. It's like Capablanca versus Lasca, where Lasca is white. Jose Reyes, or however I'm meant to say it, because I've watched that great grandmaster Hikaru Nakamura pronouncing his name, and I thought, I don't say it at all correctly, do I? So here comes F5. I just played F5. See that? Isn't that great? And A4, Bishop E2. So as I said, this didn't really amount to anything, this move here. Bishop A6 and E2. I played C5, Queen E3, and then I just thought, because I thought twice about capturing the knight on F3 just prior C5 move. And here we got Bishop A6. Back to the drawing board, Dave. Knight A3 and F4. This is just a wee bit tangy. That's all, nothing more than that. Queen D2 and C6. More solidification of the pawn on D5. Anchors it down from queen captures. But white has other ideas. B4, I ignore that. And I place my bishop back home to its inaugural square, and so it looks like I haven't even developed it, and so white has developed. I'm not, but I have developed it, so I don't know how it counts, whether it counts or not. B5, and I went CB5. I just wanted to get rid of this annoyance of this B5 move. Knight B5 and Bishop E6. So we may be getting into normality. Queen D3, A6, and then biff the knight away. The knight could go to D6, but I don't know if it's any good. Knight A3, Bishop F5. Taking back what I said just before. Queen D2, Bishop E4. Queen A5. Now starting to nibble away at white's queenside pawns and just sort of annoy them, and also develop my queen for the first time in this game. Rook A1, Queen A4, so now I'm obviously attacking the knight A3, knight C2, and Rook AB8. So knight D2 comes about, that's no good, that's a blunder because of Bishop C2, Queen G4, Bishop F5, and I thought Queen F4. There you go, see? I thought white would play Queen F4 now, but I completely missed Queen F4 capture. That's why my great opponent didn't play Queen F4, played Queen F3, Rook B2, Queen E5, ouch, ouch, back home, Rook BB8, E6, Queen E8. I was actually fumbling the ball a little bit here, but I don't know why, because it's like I'm in a panic, and no one's in berserk mode, but my opponent's got 7.5, I've got 49 seconds, and I'm panicking. Knight F7, sometimes it's a hard move to meet because my queen might be on F5 or something like that, and blah, blah, blah. So here's King G8, and only 2 moves to go, or 4 moves altogether, but 2 moves as counted by all the chess players in the world. It's 2 moves till the end of this game, where white times out. Rook E5, G6, Rook CE1, and Rook BD8. Now, that's not very nice, is it? So that's the end of this session. So I hope you enjoyed that. And so I will bid you farewell from good old Christchurch, New Zealand. Into spring, are we? Are we into spring? Or if you looked at the weather yesterday or last night or this morning, you'd have something else to say about it. But that's the nature of the seasons at the moment. And apparently and reportedly, I have a discussion with my friend because our Prime Minister says it's spring now, but according to my friend, it's not till the 21st of September that spring comes to New Zealand. But yeah, if you looked at the weather, like the hail and the snow and all the sleet or whatever we've just had, then you would believe that, but I don't know. I'm bleating on about the weather, and that's all. And I'm out of here. Bye for now. Thank you so much for watching. All the best with your chess. Primarily try to enjoy the game of chess, and never forget the 5 respects, which will help your game so much. Respect your opponent. Respect your opponent's pawns and pieces. Respect yourself. Respect your pawns and pieces. Respect the game of chess. Bye.